Aerodrome Finance, the leading decentralized exchange on the Base blockchain, hasn't had too great of a time recently. The price went down quite a bit. The question is, does it make sense to buy this bottom? We're going to look at on-chain data most people aren't considering. We're trying to figure out if Aerodrome is a good investment at current prices. Now, Trump launched his meme coin on the Solana chain, and that of course attracted a lot of new investments. Have a look at the total value locked change in the last month. Solana went up by 37%, while the Base chain was pretty much standstill. A lot of liquidity moved from Ethereum to Solana, but also the recently launched Hyperliquid protocol saw some kind of deleveraging. Now here's the total value locked on the Solana chain over time. It's now close to 12 billion. And here's the total value locked on the Base chain, close to 4 billion. And so why am I making this comparison? I'm doing this because Radium on Solana performed very, very well, whereas Aerodrome did not. Let's get in a bit more detail. Aerodrome saw trading volume in the last 24 hours of 860 million roughly. Radium on the Solana chain saw 10 times that trading volume. In the last month, Aerodrome went down by 31%, while Radium went up by 54%. Two very similar blockchains with the leading decentralized exchanges with very, very different price performances. And so have a look at this. This is a chart you've probably never seen before. This is the Aerodrome price relative to the Radium price. So we're not looking at Aerodrome in US dollars or at Aerodrome relative to Bitcoin or to Ethereum. We are looking at Aerodrome relative to Radium. And the long-term trend isn't that great, but at least we are now very low on that long-term trend. And maybe we can turn around at some point and appreciate by 100%, potentially even 200%. That's at least within the volatility that we've seen in the past. We are now at a time where Radium is expensive relative to Aerodrome, or where Aerodrome is cheap relative to Radium. There are several metrics where Aerodrome seems to be comparatively cheap now. Even on the US dollar chart, one might make the argument that we have somewhat of a floor at $1. Let's get into the on-chain metrics, right? Let's have a look at the number of retail investors versus whale investors. Let's see actually what's driving the price here. On the Base chain, we've got 270,000 holders of Aero. But not all of those holders are created equal, right? Some of them might just hold a few cents of the token, while others might hold millions of dollars worth of the token. Check this out. This is the number of holders that have at least 1,000 tokens, that's on the left, 10,000 tokens, that's in the middle, or 100,000 tokens, that's on the right. Since the price of Aero is roughly $1 right now, this equates to the similar dollar amounts. There is accumulation across the board, but let's go even higher than that. This is now on the left, the number of wallets with 1 million Aero tokens, with 10 million Aero tokens, and with 100 million Aero tokens. Now what is this 100 million here? That's the voting escrow account, which currently has 48% of the supply. So this is where all the claims are made with several reward distribution transactions per minute. And so that's probably one of the main reasons why Aerodrome has a harder time. On the one hand, the tokenomics aren't perfect, right? Half of the tokens are still unlocked. They're still in this escrow account and they get distributed over time. And the second reason is, of course, that Base currently is not outperforming Solana. There's all kinds of attention now on Solana and on political meme coins, etc. But then on the other hand, one might make the argument that the Trump token is even worse, right? They've got 80% of the supply in a team wallet that gets unlocked over time. Now 50% versus 80%, is it really that much of a difference? I believe the answer is yes, and here's why. When we've got 50% of the supply that's currently floating and another 50% that's to be unlocked, then the liquid supply will 2x from here, right? There's a token inflation of 2x. We can see how the people that claim Aero, they tend to not sell off their tokens, right? Otherwise, the number of holders wouldn't be going up for all wallet cohorts. They simply claim the tokens and they keep on holding Aero. But then when we've got 80% that are yet to be unlocked, then the ratio is much worse, right? Then the token supply will 5x from here. So it does take much more money to stabilize the price, especially given the market caps. Because Aerodrome's market cap is 800 million, while the official Trump market cap is 7.4 billion and the fully diluted valuation is 37 billion. So for the price just to stay stable, right, for the price of official Trump not to fall from here relative to other cryptocurrencies during the next 4 years, we need to see almost 30 billion worth of value flowing into the token. If less than 30 billion flow into Trump over the course of the next 4 years, then the price will go down. That's of course very different to Aerodrome, right, where we've only got 800 million that will hit the market. So it's 800 million versus 30 billion, quite a bit of a delta. But let's again have a look at what happened in the last month, where the price went down by 31%. The number of retail investors actually went up in the last month. The number of medium-sized retail investors, so the ones with $10,000, also tended to trend up. The number of whale investors also rather went up. Not by much, but it also didn't go down. And I do not think that it's just the claim rewards that push the price down that much. I think this is liquidity that gets sucked out of the market in order to buy the Trump token. And it might also be some deleveraging from the perpetual futures market, because the perps had quite a bit of an impact on Aerodrome in the past. That impact though is diminishing. We only have seen 11 million worth of trading volume in the last 24 hours for Aero. So there's really not a lot of attention, not a lot of bets, not a lot of leverage on the price. The price seems to be pretty much at rock bottom according to pretty much any metric. And so yes, this is not necessarily a growth crypto asset, right? It's not an asset that's going to 10 or 20x from here. This is simply an asset that tends to be undervalued relative to other similar assets, because the number of new users versus returning users doesn't really look that great on any given day. There are only 1,500 or so new wallets that buy Aerodrome per day. But still, over time, the number of buyers and sellers is growing. So there's definitely more and more demand. Very similar to what we've already seen with the number of holders with those charts. Now, the Trump-related tokens continue to dominate the Solana chain. Have a look at the trending tokens ordered by their liquidity. And the Trump token plus the Melania token combined, they are at 900 million. And just see how this compares to Fartcoin or to Pengu, right? Then we only get into the 20 million mark. So really, this is becoming more and more of a politically driven market. Now the question is, how can we buy something like Trump or Melania early? And I believe that simply by copy trading people that in general tend to buy things early, that in general tend to be among the winners. Have a look at this over here. This is our wallet tracking. And over here we see that Across the Rubicon bought the Trump token for $3.36. So just a few hours after launch. But we've also got other people like Crypto King, like Greeny Trades, like Kyle Chessy, that bought Trump very, very early on, right? Here's Kyle Chessy for $10. That was over here. Afterwards, the price went up by more than 600%. And even after this massive dump, it's still up. Here's the YouTube channel of Across the Rubicon, the people that bought the token the first. And they are focusing on wallet tracking as well in their paid community. Here is Crypto Gains. He also bought Trump very early. We've got 55 of his tokens. Here's his YouTube channel. Then we saw the Kyle Chessy purchase. We've got 12 of his wallets that we are tracking. Here's his channel. And so there are several channels that we are tracking where we try to find buying opportunities early. Crypto is really not just a luck game. It's not just random gambling. If you know that the president of the United States is launching a meme coin and you react to this very early and you see all of the other winning players also buying into the token, then this is a good signal to copy. And that's the reason why I like wallet tracking so much, right? The blockchain is 100% transparent. Once we know who owns what wallet, which is actually the tricky part, right? This needs a lot of skill. Once we have that connection, then we can track the wallet and we always can get an alert whenever purchases or sale transactions happen. Now, I made a tutorial course on the sole subject of finding influencer wallets. There are 8 separate videos on this topic, and we then use the time and intelligence of the community to find new wallets, to add them to our tracker and to refine our tracking. So that's individual Telegram chats on wallet tracking. Once we have a buying signal, we of course have to discuss signals as well. That's why I've got dedicated chats on the individual altcoins as well. It's all part of the premium membership of this channel that's down below, thebitcoinstrader.com. Premium is not just about wallet tracking, it's also about risk management, it's also about on-chain analytics. There's more than 100 tutorial videos in total in premium. So feel free to check it out. It's currently $165 per month. There's also a 1-week money back guarantee. So in case you don't like premium, in case you don't get any value out of this, just message me within the first 7 days and I'll refund you 100%. There's really zero risk for you. Now, does it make sense to buy the Aerodrome token at roughly $1? I think yes. I personally do own some Aerodrome, but let me show you the potential upside that I see here. Have a look at other DeFi tokens. Aerodrome, with its roughly 800 million, again, it's the leading decentralized exchange on the base chain. It's half the size of the Lido DAO. It's a third of the size of Radium, and it's 1/6 of Aave, right? The leading borrowing and lending platform across all chains. Here's an overview of decentralized exchanges. Hyperliquid is now at number 1, followed by Uniswap. Radium is number 3. Then we've got a DEX aggregator with Jupiter. So that's also on Solana. We've got DYDX, another perp future exchange. Then over here, we've got Aerodrome. Again, a 2x from here is definitely possible once there is more attention on the base chain again. Here's an overview of automated market makers, or AMMs. Aerodrome is at number 4. So yes, the tokenomics aren't perfect. The supply will double at some point, but at the same time, we see how the people that claim those tokens, they don't really sell, right? They tend to just keep on holding. I believe Aero recently underperformed simply because the attention moved away from the virtual protocol and from the base chain and from AI agents to the Trump token to Politify. Once we see the market consolidating again, then I do believe that Aero will appreciate versus Radium again. If you got some value out of this video, feel free to subscribe. I publish this regularly. A like would be very much appreciated as well. It helps the channel grow. See you in the next video, or see you in premium. Cheers.